Hello everyone. I'm excited to share with you a few words about my new program called Strong Peaceful Women. If you're watching this, maybe you're searching for a new way to find more peaceful and happy life. Or maybe you've been frustrated and feeling helpless in making positive changes in your life. Or maybe you aren't even sure where to begin. Or maybe you've had glimpses of a life of greater meaning and fulfillment, but aren't sure how to put it all into practice consistently. Or maybe you're wondering, what does strong, peaceful women even mean, and how are the concept of strong and peaceful even connected? Whatever the reason, you're in the right place, and I'm glad you're here. A little background: my name is Michelle Warren, and I'm a licensed clinical social worker. I have over 2 decades of clinical experience working with women with chronic illness, depression, anxiety, and body image issues, and relationship issues. Over the past 6 years, I have directed my clinical focus on women's issues alone. I'm hoping my professional and personal journey will inspire you to join this movement I have created and find your own strength and peace and happiness. Strong Peaceful Women began as a quest. You see, just like many of you watching today, I have had my own struggles with anxiety and body image issues, and I was looking for a way, preferably a quick fix, to find my inner peace and happiness. I tried many isolated things to address my own issues and often felt frustrated and stuck, resulting in my confirming image of myself as weak. I hid my own struggles from the world out of shame, mostly, because somehow I thought if others knew what I was really going through, it would make me look like I was less of a therapist or less of a person than I wanted others to see me as being. So somehow I convinced myself I needed to have this idyllic life story, which I did not have, in order to help other people in my clinical work. Until one day, 2 things occurred to me. One, I realized when I say I understand my clients, I truly do. My own journey, with its very real struggles and frustrations, and my quest to find my own peace and happiness, is what I have to offer the world. My own weakness has now become my strength. And when I say to my clients, or to you today, I get it, I truly do, I get it. And 2, I was already in the process of finding my own peace and happiness, and could show others the way through all that I was learning. It was then that I realized that we all have a universal desire to have a more peaceful and happy life. And I stopped hiding, and I started this movement. So I am often asked when it started to shift for me from a real struggle to the beginning of what I now practice myself and teach others. There has to be a beginning point, right? And for me, it showed up in a very surprising way, one my peer group of long ago would have never predicted. Nearly a decade ago, this very unathletic, overwhelmed, exhausted mother of 2 decided she wanted to start running. A conscious decision from a non-runner to start running. Let me repeat that. A non-runner wanted to become a runner. So to set the stage, I still carry with me a very real emotional scar of having to run the mile in high school gym class. Somehow that was a necessary milestone in order to graduate. I still don't understand it. It was a horrifyingly long distance, and I was terrified I would not finish or be the last one running. I was shy, awkward, and I was consumed with what I looked like, how slow I was, and what my athleticism, or lack thereof, said about me as a person. We ran at our high school track surrounded by all of our classmates, and I can still remember the dread leading up to that day we were all scheduled to run in gym class. I still remember that feeling of being slower than most, and I can still remember of how hard it was to run 4 times around that track, nearly consumed with the feeling of stress and the judgment of others around me. Well, I did eventually finish. I might still be in high school had I did not do that. And although I don't think I was the last one on the track that day, I was also not invited to join the track team or cross-country team, nor was I picked to try when I tried out for cheerleading later that year, nor was I selected to play singles on the tennis team. And I'm quite sure the only reason that I was on the tennis team is because they actually needed players. I never tried out for another team, and I soon gave up on sports altogether. I took in the messages I heard in my young life, including, "You're not good enough, you're too short, "You have thunder thighs." I seriously heard that, and whoever says that to someone. And many other countless negative images and messages of who I was and what my body could and couldn't do. And by giving up and not trying, I was allowing those messages that others said about me to dictate who I was and what I was going to do with my life. And my insecurities and body image and anxiety began to have a very large impact on my life for years. But even with all of this, something inside me knew there was another story to be told, knew there was another way, knew this narrative was not the only narrative, and something in me really wanted to be a runner. I would see others in my neighborhood running, and I thought, I want to do that too. Could I? The negative thoughts reared their ugly head again and again and again. But one day, something shifted in me. I put on my athletic shoes. I didn't even own running shoes yet, and I didn't know there was a difference, but I was determined to get outside and run. I had no idea how far I was going, but I started running a block and walking a block and running a block and walking a block. My lungs hurt. I was painfully slow. I didn't know where I was going or how long I was going to be out, but I was doing it. I was running and walking. And to my great surprise, I didn't hear the mocking words of my childhood, and I didn't let the negative messages I had received in my life keep me from moving forward. Rather, I was filled with the pride and felt invigorated. I came back home sweaty and sore, and I knew this was the start of my journey, and I was a runner. In those first awkward, slow, unplanned steps, I started to shift my perceptions of myself and where my life was going, and for the first time in my life, I felt strong and I felt peaceful. Now, that same girl who struggled, and I do mean struggled, to run that mile in high school, kept running, kept practicing, kept learning, and less than a year later ran her first marathon at 34 years old. And a year later, I ran at 35 again. Since then, I have run 5 full marathons and over a dozen half marathons, and traveled to run as far as Disney's Marathon, Marine Corps Marathon in Washington, D.C., and Berlin Marathon. Running has connected me to a community of people I would have never met had I not put on those shoes that fateful day, and allowed me, now a middle-aged mother of 2, to inspire others to run and complete marathons themselves. Running was my connection to my body and allowed me to shift some long-held thoughts in my mind and allow me to start making permanent changes in my life. In retrospect, running allowed me to have my first experience of integrating my mind and my body. Now, running was the beginning for me. It was my entry at looking at how I can use my internal resources to harness my inner strength and find my own peace and happiness. It allowed me to confront old wounds and narratives I had inadvertently been carrying with me my entire life, and learn to let go of some of the negativity that no longer served me. It opened me up to exploring other things I thought were not available to me or knew little about, including yoga, meditation. I'm a vegetarian, and I began exploring service in my community. By releasing some of what I thought of my life should be and what others thought about me, I was able to truly find a peaceful and happy life that I designed. I have inner strength and peace through this exploration of mind, body, spirit, and service. So as a therapist, I've been sort of frustrated with the fragmented approach to wellness we have in our culture. For years, I would listen to my clients who had been in therapy for many years prior to me and would report feeling little or no change or hopeless in finding peace or happiness. My approach with clients offers a holistic one, acknowledging wellness is best achieved when it goes beyond just focusing on the mind. I've developed a program that works not only for me, but has also been transformative, empowering for my clients. I firmly believe it can help all of you watching today. By combining mind, body, spirit, and a commitment to service, I've found a unique approach that can be life-changing for everyone who makes a commitment to find their own path to wholeness and happiness. Feeling positive about oneself, treating our body well, connecting with our spiritual self, and committing to helping others is a roadmap to living a more grounded, peaceful, and happy life. Earlier, I mentioned when I had my own inner struggles, I so wanted that quick fix. I absolutely understand the desire to have that change happen now. I wanted to do something, or more preferably one thing, to make everything okay. But much to my chagrin, there are no quick fixes when it comes to wellness. What I emphasize in my program, both from my clinical work and personal exploration, is this: to feel strong, both emotionally and physically, and peaceful and happy, it is necessary to have mind, body, spirit, and service equally emphasized and explored. If some of this is new to you, or if it's all new to you, I can help show you the way. So my question is simple. Are you ready to create happiness and a life that you love? By joining the mailing list today, you will be informed of upcoming event dates, have access not only to free articles on the website, but also receive exclusive ones available only to you who join the mailing list. And very soon I will be announcing the start of the next program, exclusively designed for women like you. You can also find me on Facebook at Strong Peaceful Women, where I post articles and other sources of inspiration for you to explore. Thank you for watching today, and I hope to see all of you very soon.